Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vieser Cattle Company. We're introducing the year 2020. First video of the year. If you caught the last video, you knew I was sicker than a dog. I'm on the immediate downslope. In fact, tomorrow morning, I can almost guarantee you waking up and being 100%. The voice isn't really there. I had some major cough attacks, but whatever. So yeah, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a little bit of talking here today about what's going on and this year coming up and a whole bunch of other gibberish. But hope everybody had a nice, good, safe New Year's. I can tell you I really didn't do much, and I'm pretty happy about it. As you know, I was pretty stinking sick. But things continue here at the farm like always. They can't stop. Here's this motley crew of beef calves. They're all pretty peed off right now because they're out of alfalfa baleage. Well, I'm doing something a little bit different here this year. I do not have the excess feed to take care of their greediness for continuing to want alfalfa baleage and let multiple bales of dry hay go to waste. I have had a very bad habit of doing that the last 2 years. That needs to stop. Number one, just because. Number two, I do not have excess feed for all that nonsense. It's kind of a part of what we're going to talk about here when we go into the barn, about going back to some basics. They're doing real good. Very good. We got 5 ballers in here. They were weaned off last about 3-4 days ago. The gate is getting opened tomorrow mid-morning. When they're done with their grain ration and a little settled down, they're going to join the rest of the motley crew outside, and hopefully all goes well. Cross your fingers for me that the fences don't get taken down. I do got to get them 1 bale of hay yet. Other than that, all the chores are been completed. Let's see, I didn't start this video off very well here. January 3rd, Friday. Big happy Friday. It's a little better than 5 p.m. Been pretty halfway busy all day today with a bunch of odds and ends. One of the things I did is I moved the high moisture bales. New Year's afternoon, like a bum, I decided to kind of just be in the house and linger for a few hours. So sick, well, yeah, that'll learn you. All the cattle got out. It was awful. Absolutely awful. Cattle spread all over the place. In fact, even a couple of the weaned calves, which if anybody that knows better right now, and I say that respectfully, you know how we're talking a disaster. What happened was the fencer was left off. I don't know who did it. It doesn't matter. It's been rectified. But anyway, the cows found out. If you remember correctly, I had all the high moisture stuff stacked behind the barn. If these 2 bales look a little weird and funky to you, the reason being is these were the last bales in the line left from the last time I took a trip out there, and that's from the deer. The deer go on and pick in here. So anyway, all the cattle got put back in the yard. The 2 that came out of there, don't ask me how this happened, but I ended up getting them back in there. And when it was all said and done, I actually gained 1 calf that needed to be weaned. I ended up corralling them into the, yeah, it was about a 2-hour affair of unpleasant words, but what are you gonna do? All right, I think we need to start this year off right with the videos and everything else. I just want to say, hey Fred, it's gonna be a long year. It's Friday. It's after 5. I've had a long 2 weeks. That's my excuse. Okay. One of the other things I did here today is I went to town. Half of this is number one diesel. The other half of this is kerosene. Reason being, I know there's a lot of you out there saying, well, hell, just run cherry juice. What's the matter with you, Big Wheel? All right, Big Bertha here. She likes to put out the fumes and the smoke. A lot of you know what I'm trying to say here, or you know what I'm getting at. In the mornings when I would come out here, first thing I'd do is turn the heater on. And I'm here to tell you, between the fumes and I'd even take care of the Holstein heifers, Holstein steers, excuse me, first, and then come in the barn. Folks, I'd be sick until 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, just running cherry juice, you know, off-road diesel. So enough of that garbage. I ain't doing that. Our good weather is about to end here. I'm not seeing anything really, really bad. But we are going to get back to the single digits in the morning here just within a few days. So this thing's ready to go. I do have to fill this up tonight. I do practice a half of kerosene, half number one diesel. Block heater's been changed this afternoon in the 6420. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that have changed those block heaters before. They can either go real good or you can have an absolute mess. I don't know how, but I ended up having some fumble fingers here today. And I think you all know what I'm trying to say. I lost a lot of antifreeze. But, you know, whatever. I got jugs on hand. And, just another part of the preparations here with the cold weather to come, especially in the morning, start up to 6420. The block heater's been changed, brand new. Yeah, excuse you. I spent a good portion of the night last night in the barn, just tinkering around with some silly stuff. All these bulls, these are the 6 bulls here. They all got vaccinated. And these young'uns that need a little help and are going to live inside the barn here this winter, they all got vaccinated as well. If anybody wonders what I use for vaccination, you know what, I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'll even show you the boxes and all that other stuff, and I guess I'll reiterate the prices on it. I use Pyramid 10. Pyramid 10 for, you know, steers or, you know, young heifers. But then when it comes to pregnant cows, pregnant heifers, I use Cattle Master Gold, FP, which is for still lingering, fetal protection. We'll do a separate video explaining all that, which I think should be held in high regard and kind of important. These dirty scoundrels are doing okay. They got pretty bent out of shape the first day they're in here. In fact, you can see what they did here. They have not been vaccinated yet. I will be going after them when I get home later this week coming up. The fun's all over. I do have to take off on the road here, folks, and we're going to talk about that. I got to take off Sunday morning when the chores are done. Holstein steers, these bunch of pigs, have developed a very serious problem of kicking half of their hay out. No matter what you feed them, it can be an alfalfa bale or it can be this fine bromine stuff here, which they absolutely love. They started a real bad habit of kicking a lot of the hay out here. Kind of a pain in the butt, not a huge deal, but whatever. Went after a fresh barn cleaning. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. About a day early. Reason being is so that I can do a fresh barn cleaning early Sunday morning, run the whole barn cleaner, so that when I'm gone for a few days, you know, if you don't know, Dad takes care of things around here when I have to take off. So things are clean as a whistle and lots of room for manure, and there's no sense in having to run the barn cleaner and spread manure while I'm gone. which can be kind of a son of a gun. But son of a gun. Let's close this up here. Beef herd's doing just fine. They're settled in good after getting out the other day. They continue to be less and less on feed. It's very, very noticeable to me, obviously, because of, tending to them every day. Because the calves were weaned off and whatnot. So that's a good thing. Barn cleaner, as you can see, is still kind of flooded. There's no doubt in my mind I've taken, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gallons out. Tomorrow morning I will be running the sump pump again to get the water out. And then very early Sunday morning I'll run it again before we clean barn. After that, it should be fairly basically dry, or at least pretty dang close. The last thing we want is all this water in the barn cleaner and start getting 10 below zero, which we do not have in the forecast coming, but within 2 weeks we could get it. But this comes from that 36 hours of rain that we got. And I don't know what else to say other than hopefully it dries out. But tonight I'm going to spend some time in the barn, filling up the heater, a couple other things. I got to put a couple of latches on that got broken. And hey, Fred. Fred, Happy New Year. Love you, buddy. So yeah, I'm just going to tinker out here. So, brand new year, 2020. I, like about everybody else, have resolutions. New Year's resolutions. Additions. Subtractions. Sometimes subtractions more than additions within life. Goals. Goals to be met. Timelines. Some stuff is even on the calendar. Some stuff is just kept up here. We all have them. I probably got about 50 of them. I'm sure that a lot of you is about the same. It all has to do with personal life. Whether it's to work on something, let go of something, whatever. Something to work on. Personal life, obviously the farm. The farm is a big part of my life. And railroading. To be honest with this brand new year, we have some exceptional possibilities this year, with my work off the farm. Which we're not going to get into as far as the timeline with that. At some point, maybe we will. But we have some excellent opportunities this year to go full steam ahead with some new customers. The customers that we currently have. In fact, I am within about a week or two away from surveying and helping to put together bids for multiple dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of brand new property upgrades. And the list goes on and on. So, yeah. Anyway, all that being said, we all got our resolutions. One of the 50 things I have this year is getting back to basics. Now, it kind of sounds a little funny to say something like that. I mean, I'm still the same dirty old bum that I was 2-3 years ago when I started this YouTube channel. There's really nothing changed. Not really. A little bit more property, a little more cattle. It's part of a growing small business. Other than that, nothing's really changed. But when I say get back to basics, that means another different 30, 40, 50 different things. One of them in particular that we're talking about tonight is Shout Out Fridays. we need to get back to basics. I guess I'm talking with this YouTube channel, Shout Out Fridays. They meant a lot to a lot of people. They meant a lot to me. I really enjoyed doing them. I got pretty lazy and pretty laxed with Shout Out Fridays in 2019. In fact, I don't know if I did, hell, did I do a dozen of them? That's kind of a god-awful shame. Now, I'll be real honest with you. We're going to do some boo-hooing here right now. There was a shout-out that I did, and kind of a whatever, that backfired on me significantly. It takes a hell of a lot more than that to break my old little heart. Trust me. I will be honest with you, though. In fact, the joke's on him, not on me. I just tried to help. To be honest with you, though, I will tell you that it did put a sour taste in my mouth. I will use that as my cheap excuse about me laxing on Shout Out Fridays. If it seems a little bit brighter in the barn, I've got all LED. The daylight LEDs in here now. I got those this afternoon, and what a big difference. So anyway, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to get back to at least an every other week, if not weekly, Shout Out Friday. So here's the deal. We're going to start this year off correctly. This Shout Out Friday is for you. The heck does that mean? I want to take this opportunity, and in the comments below, anybody and everybody out there that cares to share a comment, share your shout out. Obviously, we're talking about YouTube channels, preferably farm related, but it does not have to be. It's whatever you're interested in. And for God's sakes almighty, don't be afraid to be a commenter and shout out on the comments your own channel. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to do so. So we're going to start this year off right. We're going to start this Friday off right. This Shout Out Friday is for you to shout out your channels. And we're going to go from there. I've been laxing tremendously on my YouTube channels, keeping up with the channels I subscribe to. My cheap excuse to you is going to be I'm just busy. That has to change because there's always a little bit of time. There's always a little bit of time. So yeah, I hope everybody else has got some additions and subtractions within life and resolutions, something they want to work on, something they need to give up. In one form or one way or another. And I think it's pretty important. I always try and do something like that for New Year's, and I always try and stick to at least a few of them. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, but I do try. There has been some not resolutions, but some goals, we'll say. Goals with timelines on them as far as this farm is concerned. I'm not going to bore you with them or share them with you now because a lot of them are personal and private. I do look forward to possibly showing them to you as the year goes on. No, yeah, it's just part of life. It's about having some fun and trying to do the right things, work hard, and live life. I don't have all the answers, but I know you got to have a little bit of fun. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? Depends what your definition of fun is. Different for all of us. So yeah, folks, please comment below on your shout out. Maybe you got a startup channel, preferably a startup or a young channel that could use a little bit of help. Feel free to please shout them out. It does not need to be farming related, like I've already said. But yeah, you dirty pigs. Yeah, these six young bulls here are going through an astronomical amount of feed. but it's all right. Grow. I'll admit they kicked my rear end last night when I did vaccinations. I got about 4 or 5 or 6 different new bruises on the old body, but it's part of having fun, right? So, anyway, one more cheers to Fred. Fred, I hope you have a good year coming up. I hope you got some resolutions as well. Fred, maybe you can let loose just a little bit. It's all right. This life is fun. And that's about it, folks. It's going to be dark here in probably about a half hour. I've got a few odd jobs and work to do inside the barn. And, yeah, I might step out to a local establishment tonight for a small bite to eat, maybe a beer or two. And that'll be the extent of my Friday evening. I got kind of a long day tomorrow, catching up on a couple of things and just doing some preparations for leaving Sunday morning to, by God, make it as easy as I can for Dad that takes care of things while I'm gone, which, yeah, pretty grateful for. Pretty spoiled rotten, I'll admit it. Anyway, folks, big happy new year to you. Happy year 2020. I look forward to this year. Hopefully, I'm not going to tell you that there's a lot of big things to come. I look forward to a few. Oh, you got to witness it. Landslide. I knew that was coming. There's not a lot of big things to come this year. I do not have any huge, big ticket items this year. I do have some things in the works. Just looking for a good year. Good year for Mother Nature come spring, for God's sakes. I need it. I can't have another year like this with weather and feed. Cannot have it. And yeah, we're going to have a little fun. We'll try and make some nice videos and do a couple things differently. And one of the things is we're going to get back to basics on the whole Shout Out Friday. And we're going to throw some other new stuff in there. Some giveaways. And I'll just stop there. We'll do it as we go, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. Happy New Year to everybody. Big happy Friday. We're going to talk to you sooner and later.